Okay, so here's my video on foot, ankle anatomy. So first I'll go over is the bony landmarks of the leg, lower leg, ankle, and the foot. So the first part I like to go for is the femur. The femur has the lateral and medial condyles. So right here is called the eyes of the knee, and that's the lateral condyle, and that's the medial condyle here. And then you have the tibia. Tibia has the tibial, lateral, and medial condyles. To go over the eyes of the knee, go down here. That's the lateral condyle. That's the medial condyle over here. And then you have the tibial tuberosity. The tibial tuberosity is a big bump right there. Then you have the shaft, goes all the way down there. And then you have the Gerdy's tubercle is like right on the lateral condyle of the tibia. So it's right here. The IT band runs down and attaches here. So roughly the same spot, the lateral tubercle. That's the Gerdy's tubercle. And then we have is the lateral malleolus. This one is right down over here. There's a big bump of the fibula. That's a part of the fibula. The fibula that's the lateral malleolus. The fibula comes up here, and you get the head here, and the apex forms this little triangular pointy part. It's the apex. And then we have the so that's it for the femur, and of course the fibula is down here, that bone. Then we have the tibial plateau. Tibial plateau is right here. This is the shelf of the tibia. And then we have the talus bone. There's a talus bone. That's the part of the ankle, and that bone you can see is it's right over here. It says right below the tibia. It's over here. Then we have the calcaneus bone. Calcaneus is this bone right here. Calcaneus is this bone right here. And then with that you have the sostacalium tali. I say that right, sostacalium tali. That the one is located right inside of here on the calcaneal bone. And then you have the calcaneal medial tuberosity. And I'll have my patient just lift up his foot for me quick. That one's just right here. This one is just right here. Big bump is a lot of it is filled out is the medial tuberosity of the calcaneum. Calcaneus bone is right here. It's like it's really dug into the skin there. You really can't get a good feel of the tuberosity, but it is right around there. And then we have for the bones of the toes, we have is the phalanges. We have the most distal phalanges is a part of it that's covered up by the nail, so it's right here. And we have the shaft of it is like inside of the nail, and then the head of it is under here, the very top tip of the foot. And then we have the more proximal phalanges. Proximal phalanges are just right here. They come right here. And that's the shaft. The head meets the joint with the distal phalange, and then we have its base over here. And from more over here, more proximal to the ankle, we have the metatarsals. Metatarsals start from right here. We have the proximal phalangeal bones. Now those come all the way down here. So we have metatarsals 1 to 5. They go through all. So the fifth one is right here, on the pinky toe or the low toe. Goes down here as the metatarsal. The metatarsal 2. No, metatarsal 4. Metatarsal 3. Metatarsal 4. No. 2. Metatarsal 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's right here. And then we have the tarsal bones. We have called is 5. We have the navicular bone. We have the cuneiform bones, the cuboid, and we also have, that makes up for it. So we have the cuboid bone is right here. We have the stylic process of the 5th metatarsal right here, and the cuboid is just right in that area right here. There's a cuboid right there. And then we have cuneiforms 1, 2, 3, and those ones line up with the 3 toes. They line up directly with the 4th metatarsal, 3rd metatarsal, and 2nd metatarsal. So the cuneiforms, that would be the more lateral cuneiform. This would be the middle cuneiform right here. That'd be the more medial cuneiform. So they line up right here. And then we have is the navicular bone, navicular tuberosity right here. The big bony part of the foot right there. That's the navicular. And then it runs, navicular is right here, runs right here. It's the navicular bone. And then for the sesamoid bones, those ones are only on the dorsal aspect of the big toe, and there's right here. These 2 bones come up right here. They're just flowing, sesamoid bones. And they just float in the tendon. And then we have, that's all we have for the bones of the leg, ankle, and foot. And now we'll go over is the muscles of the leg, ankle, and foot. Okay, so the first one we have is on the more interior side. We have we call it the tibialis anterior. And this one starts on the lateral condyle of the tibia. So lateral condyle, she just says lateral condyle of the tibia. And then it comes down and it also inserts on the, so just lateral condyle of the tibia, and then just a proximal aspect of the tibia. So right here, the condyle, and just right under here. That's the origination of the posterior of the tibialis anterior muscle, and then it comes down and it inserts to the base of the comes down and inserts on the first. It comes down and inserts on the first metatarsal. No, the first medial cuneiform. So it starts at the first medial cuneiform. So it comes down, it goes over to the first medial cuneiform here. That's an insertion. That's one of the insertions for the tibialis anterior, and the other insertion is over here. It goes down, runs here, and goes down over to the base of the first metatarsal. So right here, base of the first metatarsal. That's the insertions for tibialis anterior. Then we have the extensor digitorum longus. This one, it has originations on the proximal aspect of the tibia, the 3/4 of the fibula, and the interosseous membrane. Interosseous membrane is runs in between the fibula and the tibia, right on here, and the flexure, the extensor digitorum longus. Comes down, they insert on the toe, on the phalanges of toes 2 to 5. So we have the extensor digitorum longus comes down here, goes over, then onto toes 2 to 5. So we have them here, there, here, and there. That's the extensor digitorum longus. And then we have the extensor hallucis longus. This one just has originations on the head and proximal aspect of the fibula. So just right here in the fibula, right here in the fibula. Okay, right here in the fibula, and then it comes down, and this one comes down and inserts all the way down on the phalanx of the great toe, right over here. And then what we have is the peroneus tertius. Peroneus tertius, it's on the distal third of the fibula in the interosseous membrane. So distal third of the fibula down here, interosseous membrane. And this one comes down and inserts on the peroneus tertius, distal third of the fibula, interosseous membrane, and comes down and inserts on the fifth metatarsal, the base of the fifth metatarsal. So right here, that's the peroneus tertius, base of the fifth metatarsal. Peroneus tertius insertion is in the fifth metatarsal, and it comes up and it originates on the distal third of the fibula and the interosseous membrane, right over here. Those are the interior muscles of the legs, and those muscles are primarily responsible for, in their names, extensors. They help extend the extensor hallucis. That one helps to extend the big toe. And the extensor digitorum longus, it helps to extend toes 2 to 5. And those two together help with dorsiflexion. And the tibialis anterior helps with dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. Then we have the peroneus tertius. That one is also responsible for plantar flexion and also inversion of the ankle. And then we have the lateral aspect of the leg. Lateral aspect of the leg, we have the peroneus longus. The peroneus longus it has insertions. It has an insertion on the base of the first metatarsal. Base of the first metatarsal. Base of the first metatarsal here, and it comes down and inserts on the medial cuneiform. The first medial cuneiform. No, wait, on top. The peroneus longus origination is peroneus longus is on the lateral condyle of the tibia. And then it's on the proximal head of the fibula as well, up here. And it goes down and attaches on the base of the first metatarsal. Comes down here, base first metatarsal. It goes down to the medial cuneiform. Those attachments of the peroneus longus. And then we have the peroneus brevis. That one has originations on the distal third of the fibula. It goes right here. That's the peroneus brevis. And it comes down and attaches at the stylic process of the fifth metatarsal. And then we have on the back side, we have the gastrocnemius, we have the soleus and the plantaris. So I have my patient flip over to his back for me quick so you can see posterior side of it. Yep. So we have the posterior, more superficial posterior muscles. So we have the gastrocnemius. This one has originations on the lateral femoral condyles of the femur. So right up here, as insertions there, there's the gastrocnemius, and then it comes down, and then it inserts on the calcaneus via the Achilles tendon. That's the gastrocnemius. That is responsible for plantar flexion. Then we have the soleus muscle, and that one is located on the medial condyle of the tibia, the medial condyle of the tibia. So right here, medial condyle of the tibia, and then it also has attachments on the soleus, has originations on the medial condyle, and also the medial condyle, and then it comes down and it inserts on the calcaneus via the Achilles tendon. And then we have the plantaris muscle. That one originates on the linea aspera of the femur, so up here. That one comes down and inserts on the calcaneus. That one is responsible for plantar flexion, weak plantar flexion. The soleus is also responsible for plantar flexion. All these muscles on the superficial posterior of the leg are responsible for plantar flexion. And then the peroneus longus and peroneus brevis, as I mentioned earlier, they're also responsible for plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, and eversion. The lateral compartment, the peroneus longus, peroneus brevis, those are responsible for dorsiflexion and eversion. And then we have the more deeper posterior muscles. These ones we can't see on the outside because they are buried inside of the superficial muscles. But we have the tibialis posterior. That muscle attaches on the middle of the tibia, middle of the tibia, medial aspect of the fibula. So right here, and then the interosseous membrane, and then it comes down and attaches on the navicular, on the navicular bone. This one comes down, attaches. Okay, so now I'll go over the ligaments of the leg, ankle, and foot. So the first ligament I have to go over is the anterior talofibular ligament, talotibular ligament, talotibular. Talotibular is anterior, as you can say, anterior portion. It runs from the tibia, from the end of the tibia to the talbone in here. And that is responsible, it helps to prevent anterior displacement of the talus bone. Then we have the anterior tibial-fibular bone, ligament, anterior tibial-fibular ligament, and that one is right here, the lateral malleolus, and you have the tibia here. And that ligament is responsible for keeping the tibia and the fibula together. Then we have the calcaneofibular ligament, and that one is located, as the name says, is the calcaneal bone. We have the fibula is right here, calcaneofibular bone, and that ligament, and that one is responsible, it helps to lateral stabilization of the ankle. And then we have the deltoid ligaments. The deltoid ligament is attached. It helps right here on the talofibular ligament. It's right here, so it's kind of the deltoid. It's on the medial aspect of the foot. The deltoid ligament is just right here. Deltoid. This for the triangle. We have one on the talofibular. So on the tibia, you have one on the deltoid right here. It comes out here, and that is responsible for talofibular stability. That's the deltoid ligament. And then we have the spring ligament underneath the foot. Spring ligament is just right under here. Is the one that's on the ball of the foot. Is responsible for on the ball of the foot. There's here and there, and that one is responsible for a static strain of the medial longitudinal arch. So the longitudinal arch is right here. That ligament helps to restrain of the medial longitudinal arch. Then we have the Achilles tendon. The Achilles tendon is on the back of the foot. The Achilles tendon is right here. Achilles tendon, the calcaneus, right here. And the Achilles tendon is a major source of attachment for muscles like all the posterior superficial muscles, all attached to the gastrocnemius, the soleus. That is the Achilles tendon. And then we have is what called is the plantar fascia. Plantar fascia helps to make the bridge between the longitudinal arch. It gives us our shape of the foot. The shape of our arch is due to plantar fascia. So the plantar fascia is right on the plantar aspect of the foot. So just right here is the plantar fascia. It's here. Then we have the interosseous membrane, as mentioned earlier. That one is in between the fibula and the tibia, right here. And that one helps to create space with the tibia and the fibula. And then I'll go over the joints of the ankle. So the first one is the proximal tibula-fibula joint. So the proximal tibula-fibula is from up here, is on the proximal tibia-fibula bone joint is right here. That's the head of the fibula and the tibia. That's that joint right there. And then this is a synovial plane joint, and it is responsible for a glider movement. And then distal of that, we have the distal tibio-fibular joint. That one is just right here. It connects to the joint that connects the tibia and the fibula on the bottom, which is right here. And this one is a fibrosis joint. It's not really meant to fight any movement. It's just to make sure the two most bones don't actually come together and don't fall apart. And then its function is accommodates with dorsiflexion. And then we have is what's called the talocrural joint, and this is a hinge joint. And the talocrural joint is just with the calcaneum, with the talocrural is just with the talus, and that one is responsible for is a hinge joint, so it's a sagittal plane, so it helps with dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. Then we have the subtalar joint. Subtalar joint is below the talus, so the talus is here, and it's below it right over here. And the subtalar joint is responsible for is a plane synovial joint, and it helps with inversion and eversion of the foot. That's a subtalar joint here, right down here. Helps with inversion and eversion. Then we had a metatarsophalangeal joint. This one is in between the metatarsals and the phalanges. And that when the metatarsal comes here, there's the phalanges, the metatarsal. So it's just right here. And this is a synovial condyloid bone, and it has movements in the sagittal plane, frontal plane, and the circumduction. So it helps with flexion, extension, abduction, adduction, and circumduction. And then we have the proximal interphalangeal joints and distal interphalangeal joints. Those ones have the same exact functions and the same type. They're both hinge joints, and they both help with flexion and extension. And those are the proximal one is just right here. This is the proximal joint, right? Proximal joint's right here with the proximal joint. We have the distal joint up there, and that is a hinge joint responsible for flexion and extension of the toes. And for that is my video on palpations of the leg, ankle, and foot.